We are all celebrating Days of 47. It's coming right up. This is a time when we commemorate the trek that the Mormon Pioneers made from Nauvoo, Illinois, and got to Salt Lake. They left winter quarters and they came out in bands, the first ones arriving July 24th, 1847. But really there is another migration that took place from its very beginnings in Palmyra, New York. And while a lot of us have done treks and followed that western migration, today we're going to show you an itinerary for following the eastern migration. Now, if you're not LDS, this is still a great trip because it's very rich in history. There's a lot of fun things to do on the way, and you're going through some of the most beautiful country in the United States. So grab a pencil and your atlas, let's get going. We start right here at the Joseph Smith Farm in Palmyra, New York. This is a great place. One of the buildings there has been there ever since the Smith family lived there. And it's still intact. It's been kind of fixed up, and it is the Alvin Smith home. And I never really understood this history. It's kind of neat to see what homes were built like. If you like building things, this is a great trip because you get to see stuff that you just wouldn't otherwise get to see. And along the way, you just see so much great stuff. I mean, there is so much history in that part of the country, and the rolling green hills, and you come up these mountain grades, but you see these big valleys with these mile-wide rivers running through them, and farmlands everywhere, and all this lush greenery. And we came across this one place where some guy just collected tractors and old Army vehicles. And of course, you know me and Army vehicles. I'm going to stop and look. You go along the Susquehanna River, places where it's a mile wide, and you've got airboats out there running because it's wide, but it's really shallow. And everywhere you went up the river, you saw people fishing in different kinds of waters.
In Utah, it's very dry, and you can find lakes and everything, but here it's a lot different because you just see water everywhere.
Next stop is Fayette. To get to Fayette, you drive up along Seneca Lake. This is a place that's worth a couple of days on your trip anyway because there's so much to do around there. And the Finger Lakes are all connected by canals. So if you were a boating person, you could take a boat there and you could cover 7 lakes. Next stop is Kirtland, Ohio. Kirtland is really the first big community, and it's where most of the significant religious history of the church all came together. And this was the first time that the LDS people actually really set out to gather and build a community. They did this in Kirtland. They have reconstructed the old part of the town. The thing that really stood out to me is the quality of the replicas that they've built.
We've got friends back home that did some of the restoration through Kirtland, through some of the sawmill and stuff in Kirtland. And so it's kind of fun to kind of watch and see some of the stuff that they have rebuilt and replaced in there to see how it was actually working and functioning.
It is authentic, right down to the handcrafted nails that hold stuff together. Our last stop is Nauvoo. You can take tours there. They have probably the best collection of actual grave sites, history, the restored houses, the original houses, and of course they recently rebuilt their temple. It was burned down when they were run out of that area. And of course nearby is Carthage, and this is where their prophet Joseph Smith ended up losing his life, and it set the stage for the migration west that brought the pioneers to Salt Lake for the Days of 47. If you're traveling with a family and you're trying to get somebody to understand the traditions that your family lives by, this is a great way to do it. And it brings a three-dimensional reality to the stories you've heard as a kid.
I probably didn't allow enough time in each location. There's so much to do in every place that we go. Having all that time together in the car, I mean, we're forced to talk to each other and just kind of put up with each other a little bit more.
For any of you that are out there planning on doing something like this, don't hesitate. It's been fun. Don't get us wrong, the nights are short, the days are long, but with some careful planning, you can make a wonderful trip out of this.
The entire road time is about 19 hours. It'll take you 3 hours to get around New York and Pennsylvania, about 6 hours to get from there down to Kirtland, Ohio, and about 9 hours to get to Nauvoo. Now, that's actual driving time. So you got to allow time for stops along the way, and each site you need at least an hour, and in many cases I would recommend 2. So with all those things considered, you can do this trip in a week. I would recommend 2. If you'd like a complete itinerary, go to our website. Maybe next year we'll pick the trek up from here and go the rest of the way to Salt Lake. For At Your Leisure, I'm Chadwick.
Hey guys, if you liked that video, you're gonna wanna watch all of our other AYL videos. You're gonna wanna like it, you're gonna wanna share it, and you're gonna wanna subscribe, right? See all the buttons right here? This is what you're gonna wanna do, right? Click on them, because we have some really cool videos, all kinds of behind the scenes stuff, bloopers of Alicia crashing and stuff.
Why are you gonna sell me out like that, Steven?
So you wanna click all of these things and subscribe to our channel, because At Your Leisure is awesome, and we'll see you here for more videos.